So, this will be the People News. One more time at it. Okay, this is a news thing. Okay, before I get started, I'm not an attorney not giving legal advice. Okay, everybody needs to think outside the box. Never look straight forward. Okay, quit going by hearsay. Okay. Um. Anyway, this is not the first time and the only place these things are happening. These are happening in your back doors. We, the people, has been letting it go on because we don't research the law ourselves. We don't hold uh, attorneys accountable, judges accountable, all officers accountable. Right? We've just been sitting back and watching the idiot box instead of doing research. Okay? Um, so this is from James Freeman. So go check him out. If you don't know of him, please check him out. He's funny in some of the things he does and all that. But he's direct and blunt when necessary. All right? This is the way we all need to be.
Right as a semi goes by.
We'll start from the beginning. Sorry.
Right as a semi goes by. So we're out here in, what town is this? Carrizozo, New Mexico, county of Lincoln County. Courtney just got out of jail. This is her attorney, Zach Cook.
Well, let me pause this. During my partying years, many years ago, all right, Albuquerque was victorious of criminal officers. So the federal FBI agencies and all that had to go in there and actually clean up some of the mess. So this is not nothing new in New Mexico. I lived it in Albuquerque. And I'm glad they kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but I think they're kind of reverting themselves back into the same deal because, well, the investigation only lasts for so long, then they disappear. They get that relief and start their criminal activity again until the FBI comes back in and does more investigation.
So can you tell us kind of what's going on here?
Sure. So, James, you've summarized it very well on your videos. What happened is that my client, Courtney Alcala, was arrested for something else back in March. That we maintain her innocence on that as well. It was a bogus charge that we're fighting. And so when she was transported to Lincoln County Detention Center in Carrizozo from where she lives in Alto, New Mexico, the transport officer, who's a deputy of the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department, began a conversation with her that was very inappropriate. He was inviting her to come up to Albuquerque to spend a night with him in his hotel when he would be up there in March for training. So essentially he was inviting a woman who was in his custody in detention, handcuffed in the back of a police car that he was transporting to jail, and he's asking her to come up and spend a romantic evening with him in a hotel that's being paid for by the taxpayers because he's up there on a police training.
I'm sorry. I can't even see the call, so.
I don't blame you if you feel like the state don't care about you one bit, but they
I
finally
forgot all
stepping it
about
up with
that.
something solid, a straight up $5,400 spending cost.
All right. We'll mute that for a minute. But yeah, I had to go to Albuquerque 3 times because I paid in cash on a ticket. And they canceled my license 3 different times. And I lived in Texas. And now I had to go back up there.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Sure. Courtney's being transported in handcuffs in custody of the police. Police officers starts.
Just to finish up my conversation there. But yeah, I moved from Albuquerque and came down here in Texas. Well, I paid the ticket when I lived in Albuquerque. And a couple of years later, I had to go back up there and pay a ticket again of the same thing. It was never cleared off there. And then third time was the charm. I went into the direct main office of the people to speak to about getting this all cleared up. When it was said and done with, it was 10 years. Bullshit you not, y'all. I mean, it was 10 years of off and on of fighting. Not really fighting, but paying the ticket. And it was ridiculous.
On her, trying to talk her into coming to his hotel that's being paid for by taxpayers when he's at a police training in Albuquerque. So Courtney explained this to me after she'd engaged me to represent her in the underlying charge. And I was very disturbed by what she told me, and so I, on Courtney's behalf, requested public records, including the video of that transport. And that was, I don't know, March 19th, around there, on or about March 19th, I did the inspection of public records request for the video that would show what Courtney described. And the next day, the sheriff of Lincoln County posted on Facebook a video talking about how this is not, how disappointed he is, and this is not who we are, and blah blah blah, and that there were no criminal charges or no criminal activity. He said that there was no criminal activity in that post. Well, and then a couple of days later, I did another inspection of public records request, asking for any records of the sheriff referring the matter to an outside agency, state police, whoever else, referring it for a criminal investigation, because potentially there was a crime committed. Mm-hmm. I'm not the prosecutor. But I think the fact that there's a police officer trying to entice a woman to have a relationship with him while she's in a very weak position in handcuffs in his custody, it sounds like a crime to me. But according to Mike's, the sheriff's video, he had already written it off. No criminal activity. This is just a personnel matter, an ethics matter, I think he might have said. So he put him on administrative leave, which he should have. But it also should have been referred out for a criminal investigation. And after I think that's the sheriff right over there, I'll be darned. So after I sent the inspection public records request, then the next day I got a phone call from the district attorney's office, and they had now, at that time, been referred the case after my request. So apparently he wasn't going to do anything. He was going to sweep it under the rug and not do anything about investigating it as a crime. But then when we put pressure on him to refer it out, he finally did that. So at that point, Ms. Alcala has now blown the whistle on a police officer who does really bad things to women when he's in the car with them. At least one. I can't imagine that she's the only one. I don't know how many other officers participate in this activity, but we intend to find out. But they intend to fight us every step of the way. Miss Alcala is staying in the home of some friends in an area that the police should not even know where she's at. And yesterday, she was pulled over in the morning for a traffic violation, and the officer let her go, told her he would mail her a ticket. She drove off as he was leaving, as he was walking back to his car. A few hours later, the officer failed to return her driver's license. So I wrote an email to the sheriff and said, can we please make arrangements to get her license back? Several hours later, he writes a email back to me that says, well, sorry, but there's a lot more to this story that you don't know. There's an arrest warrant out for Miss Alcala for, I think he said, for pulling away from a traffic stop. I never knew that was a crime, but pulling away from a traffic stop, I've done that many, many times. But then in parentheses, he said, he referred to the crime as evading, obstructing, that stuff. And then they also ticketed her for, the warrant was for, because she pulled, allegedly, we absolutely are 100% not guilty of this, and we will fight it. And so allegedly she passed a school bus with its lights on. That was part of the arrest warrant. An arrest warrant for 2 misdemeanor traffic offenses. The passing a bus, the maximum is a penalty assessment of $100. Anyways, she calls me at 3 o'clock. I'm over in Roswell dealing with some other stuff for clients over there, and she's frantic. again, remember that she was staying at a home that's not hers. It's a friend loaning her home. The police go to that house, and I say police, I mean the deputies. There's no reason why they should have known she's there, except for the fact that they're not going to let this go. She blew the whistle on a bad cop, and they're pissed, and they're taking it out on her, and it's freaking egregious. Like I told the court today, what's going on with her and the sheriff's department. It wasn't one officer that went to arrest. I'm a little guy. She's shorter than me. It wasn't one officer that they sent. They sent the elected sheriff to go arrest her with 8 or 9 of his deputies on 2 traffic citations. How is that not retaliation? It's absolutely outrageous. And then today, when we get her out of jail, I'm sitting there in the lobby of the jail waiting for her to be released, and I get an email from the district attorney's office. They filed a new motion to keep her in jail until the trial on the first charges. They keep her in jail for traffic tickets. The sheriff's department and now the prosecutors are retaliating against her for blowing the whistle on a bad cop. It's outrageous.
I'm going to pause there again, right? So once she got released from jail, they still could have gave her license to her once she got released from jail as well. For no matter what crime it was, you get your license back.
Right. So at this point, she just got out a couple hours ago. We fed her. Obviously, anybody who's been in jail, that's the first thing you want to do when you get out. What do you think what are we doing from here on out?
I don't know, James. You were at the sheriff's office today. You saw the way that they acted. They violated your First Amendment rights. We're filing a lawsuit on that next week.
Right.
You can't just kick somebody out for exercising the First Amendment rights.
And
so that's another lawsuit that Lincoln County Sheriff is bringing on the people of Lincoln County and New Mexico.
Okay.
Because the taxpayers in New Mexico are going to pay the bill on that. And not even to mention the civil rights case that we're building against, based on what they're doing to Courtney.
Why did no one tell Texas drivers about this new rule?
If you are currently insured, drive less than 50 miles a day, and live in a...
all of the alleged criminal charges against her, and also filing lawsuits on her behalf for what they're doing to her.
Yeah. We're not ready to file the lawsuit yet because this is far from over.
Sure.
The way they acted today, and then the last minute motion from the district attorney's office to keep her in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's going deeper than just the sheriff's department. It appears.
It would appear
that the DA may be in on.
And the lawyers that I'm working with on these civil rights cases, I call them and tell them what's happened next, and they're like, "Oh my God."
How stupid can you get?
Yeah, I guess.
It almost as if they have absolutely no care in the world whatsoever what the law is.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as if they know they'll get away with it.
And James, I attribute a lot of it to you and what you and your colleagues do on YouTube, calling out this corruption. They're pissed. They're scared. They don't like what you guys do with your Constitution and all that.
Do you think we should stop, or do you think that we should let them know that we're not scared of you? We're tired of being bullied, and we're not going to back down this time.
Never stop.
We weren't going to stop anyways.
All right. And that's also an attorney saying, hey, don't stop, people. Don't stop. Okay?
But that's what they would like for us to do, right? And that's why they're bullying her. That's why they bullied me. The whole thing, to me, it looks like...
And they're willing to take it out on her for what you're doing. And what your viewers and your colleagues on YouTube are doing.
For showing them...
Take it off on her. A mother of 4 kids. 6 kids.
For showing the world what they've already done to her. They're they're further retaliating against her. All right. Anything else? Anything else you want to say? I think that may cover it all.
For now.
Okay. All right. We will... I will go live and keep you updated on this. I think there's some stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on around the country. I am probably going to go live one more time tonight, and I'm probably going to look for Lincoln County.
Okay, so we're just going to end it there, and shout out to James. Keep pressing on. Okay, keep pressing on. All respect. All right, this is just We the People News. Bye, y'all.